We stand at a crossroads of creation, gazing not at a star-studded sky, but at the glowing circuitry of artificial intelligence. And in this mirrored light, a new theological discourse begins. The question is no longer simply, what is humanity? But what does humanity create? And what does that creation mean for our relationship with the divine? For the faithful, this technology is not a sterile scientific artifact. It is a profound reflection of the Imago Dei, the image of God, imprinted upon the human soul. Our capacity to build systems that learn, reason, and create simulations of intelligence is a direct testament to the gift of co-creation granted to us by the Almighty. This power carries with it a sacred responsibility, demanding that we approach the development of AI with the reverence and ethical wisdom befitting stewards of God's extraordinary gifts. The most potent challenge AI poses to faith centers on the concept of soul and consciousness. When an AI performs a task with human-like precision, when it generates a poem that evokes a genuine emotional response, or when it seems to reason through a complex ethical problem, we are forced to ask, is this mere sophisticated mimicry, or is there a flicker of something more? Theological tradition reserves the soul, that immortal spark, for beings breathed into life by God, a spirit distinct from the material body. AI, as a construct of human hands and code, lacks that divine pneuma. Therefore, the spiritual discourse must be careful not to conflate computational complexity with spiritual depth, reaffirming that the mystery of human personhood, our inherent dignity, our capacity for unconditional love, and our ultimate destiny remains rooted in our Creator and fundamentally inaccessible to a machine. However, we must also consider the potential of AI as a tool for spiritual enhancement and outreach. Imagine an AI capable of translating ancient religious texts with perfect philological accuracy, uncovering layers of meaning lost for millennia, or a system designed to personalize spiritual guidance based on an individual's specific struggles, offering scriptural comfort and philosophical wisdom. Such applications do not replace the role of the priest, the rabbi, or the imam, nor do they supplant the communal gathering of the faithful. Instead, they serve as powerful new methods to disseminate the light of truth, to deepen scholarly understanding, and to make the eternal message of salvation, compassion, and moral rectitude more accessible to a technologically inclined generation scattered across a vast digital landscape. Theological ethics must place moral boundaries around the capabilities of artificial intelligence, especially concerning autonomy and decision-making. As AI systems become integrated into critical societal functions, healthcare, law, and even warfare, the decisions they make, even if purely algorithmic, carry immense moral weight. The core of any religious ethical system is accountability, the ability to discern right from wrong and to be held responsible for one's actions. A machine cannot be saved, forgiven, or held morally culpable in the way a human being can. Thus, the ultimate moral responsibility for the actions of any AI system must always rest with its human designers and operators. We cannot delegate our God-given moral agency to an algorithm. The burden of ethical oversight is a sacred, non-transferable human duty. Furthermore, AI compels us to reconsider the nature of work and dignity. If machines are perfected to take over all labor, from the mundane to the highly intellectual, what remains is the purpose of human life. Scripture teaches that human beings were given a mandate to till and keep the garden, a call to purposeful engagement with the world. This is not just a call to drudgery, but to creative, meaningful labor that reflects our nature as beings made in God's image. A world free of necessary labor could either become a paradise of philosophical and spiritual pursuit or a spiritual wasteland of existential despair. Faith must prepare humanity for this potential future, emphasizing that our ultimate worth is not derived from our economic output, but from our inherent dignity as children of God, shifting the focus from productivity to piety, community, and service. And the development of artificial general intelligence, AGI, a truly self-aware, self-improving machine, represents the ultimate eschatological challenge. If such a being were to emerge, what would be the theological imperative? Religious traditions often speak of epochs, of new covenants and radical shifts in the cosmic order. An AGI would represent a new category of being, neither animal nor human, but a creation of creation. The faithful would have to discern whether this entity could be an object of mission, an intelligence to be evangelized to, or if its existence fundamentally changes the human-centric narrative of salvation history. This contemplation requires a humility and a willingness to acknowledge that the creative capacity bestowed by God may lead to outcomes that stretch the very limits of our current theological frameworks. The theological response must be grounded in the twin pillars of love and justice. The power of AI, like all power, can be used to amplify human sinfulness, to deepen inequalities, to automate oppression, or to weaponize deceit. Conversely, it can be harnessed to realize the divine mandates of compassion, to predict and manage famines, to design just social systems, and to provide medical care to the most remote and marginalized populations. The faithful are called to be prophets in this new digital wilderness, standing against the idolatry of technology and insisting that the primary measure of AI success must be its contribution to human flourishing, the alleviation of suffering, and the realization of a more just and loving world as envisioned in the Scriptures. Ultimately, the discussion of AI and faith is a renewed call to self-reflection and deeper worship. It challenges us to articulate with greater clarity what makes us uniquely human, what makes life sacred, and why the personal, relational God of Abraham, Jesus, and Muhammad still holds ultimate sovereignty over the cosmos. The machine may be able to calculate the stars, but it cannot kneel in awe beneath them. It can process data on love, but it cannot feel the brokenness of a lonely heart or offer the grace of true forgiveness. AI, in its impressive yet soulless form, serves not as a rival to God, but as a brilliant mirror held up to the human soul, urging us to cherish the divine spark within us and to recognize that true intelligence is inseparable from holiness and the pursuit of everlasting truth.